Okay, so this will be lesson 5. We're going to learn how to do revolve. So we're going to start a new part. Click OK. Okay, so now up until now we've been doing everything with sketches, and features are this extruded boss base feature. So every time you need to do any of these extrudes or revolves, you're going to need a sketch. Okay, so let's go pick the front plane. We're going to pick the front plane, click on sketch. Okay, so we're going to use this as an example to print one of the handles for the blinds, or the little knob that you can pull down on the blinds. Okay, so we're going to start off with a center line. So we're going to say we're in our sketch. Let's click on this arrow, do center line, and we will just make it from here up and hit escape. Right now we'll have our center line. Let's call this, we'll call it 2 inches for now. Okay, so now we have our center line. So now we want to make something that's like our pool. So we'll have some measurements, we'll have a picture, but I'm going to just kind of draw the general shapes. I'm using the straight line features, and this may or may not change. So I'm going to draw a line here. Let's say escape, and then I'm going to draw, let's do a couple of arcs. So I'm going to do this arc, and I'm going to say let's go to a 3-point arc first. We'll do 1, let's say 2 and 3. Okay, now I want to do another arc. I'll say tangent arc. I'll do 1 to about here. Okay, and I'm going to make another 3-point arc. I'm going to say 1. I want this second point to be horizontal to that one. Okay, so I'm going to say right around here, and I'm going to make this one right about there. Hit escape. I'm going to create another solid line going from here to here. Okay, so now I've got an enclosed loop. Everything in here will be revolved around this center line. Okay, so let's do some dimensioning. Well, it's actually, we want to make some, these are called constraints. So you see this little symbol here. This symbol means these two lines are tangent. Okay, that means it's just going to be a smooth transition from here, this curve, into this curve. We want the same thing from this curve. We're going to select this curve, hit Control, and then select this one. Now we're going to say tangent. See, so that one is also has that sign between these two. Okay, so we would also like to do that. I think it'll look good if we do it here. So if we make those tangent, that'll look good. Make this one and this one. See what this looks like. Make those tangent. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, so now let's make some dimensions. And I'm just going to make this up for now because I don't know, I haven't taken the measurement. So you'll have measured the inside of that little pool for the blind. So you can do the diameter is like this. Okay, and we'll call this, let's call it 0.5 for now. I don't know what it's actually going to be. Okay, and then let's make this like about from, let's call this and this coincident. So now we're saying this line is going to be in line with this point. Okay, so now you'll probably have measured the biggest point from here to the center, the smallest point from here to the center, and the biggest point from here to the center. So we need some reference lines. So the reference lines are also very similar to center lines. So I'm going to draw 3 of them. So I'm going to draw one that's from here. Let's hit escape. I'll do another one. Center of point. That is from here straight. Another center line that goes from here. Okay. So now let's do a smart dimension. Let's make sure actually these are tangent. Right? So I think it is already, but I'm going to select this line, control, select this line, make it tangent, make that tangent. This line and this line, make it tangent. Okay. Now I'm going to do a smart dimension from here to here. Let's call it 0.9. You'll already have a measurement for this. I don't have a measurement, but you can add it, make it whatever it is. I'm going to do it again from here to here. Let's call that 0.8. Okay, so from here to here, call this 1. Okay, so now we kind of need to use our eyes and kind of measure. If you can measure from like if your part has a little way to measure this diameter, you can say smart dimension from this point to this line and call it, let's just call it 1 right now. You'll have a line. And then same thing, still in smart dimension, we're going to do the same thing for this one to this line. Okay, so now we'll call that, I don't know, 1.2. Yeah, we'll call it like that. So now let's say okay. Okay, so now we have this sketch with this center line. Okay, so we're going to go back to our features tab, click on Revolve to boss or base. So now it's going to ask us to choose our sketch. Make sure to pick this center line because it's going to revolve all the solid lines around this line. So now we pick this. It's going to create that preview. We want it to go 360 degrees. If you choose something less, click this down arrow, it's going to do something less than 360 degrees. Right, so if we pick like 180 degrees, it would only do half. Right, so we can change it, but we want 360. Okay, so click 360 and say okay. Now you have your pool part that you can use. So go back and make sure your dimensions line up with what you measured, and then one thing we haven't learned is saving. So you can click on this button to save a part. You can or you can go to File and click Save or Save As. So if you do save, you'll come here. You probably have a under your Documents folder. You can save there, or you can create a new folder and say Solidworks parts. W parts here, and then I can name this. I'll say blind pool save. Okay, so go back and make sure all your dimensions are right. Okay,